Hi. If you're listening to this, I probably consider you a real friend because normally I don't share things like this with anyone. In fact, sometimes I don't even fully explain things to myself. But today, I don't know. There's something inside me. It feels like something I've been wanting to say for a long time, but have kept pushing away. So here I am, sitting on the edge of my bed, with the light in my room dimmed, my feet swinging, and I'm talking to you like I'm whispering. School. Sometimes it feels like a place that makes you grow, and sometimes it makes you feel small. You know that hum when you walk in? Conversations, laughter, locker doors slamming. Sometimes when it's all happening at once, you feel like you've lost yourself. But I don't really feel lost. More like invisible. Being in school is weird. You're neither a child nor an adult. To one person, you're too big. To another, you're still small. Being stuck between those two ideas sometimes makes your heart ache. In school, everyone seems to belong to a group. The athletes, the singers, the artists, the ones who are always laughing and hanging out with their friends. Everyone has their place. Everyone has their table, their conversations, their habits. But it feels like I don't really have one. Like that puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit anywhere. That's how I feel sometimes. For instance, in the cafeteria. I walk around with my tray stuck in the middle, surrounded by groups of friends. Most of the time, I sit at a table near the wall. No one bothers me, but sometimes I wish one person would come over and say, "Can I sit with you?" I don't know. Maybe we all just need to feel like we belong somewhere. Friendship? That's more complicated. One day I finally gathered the courage to say hello to Mia. She sits next to me in class. I had dropped the cap of the pen I was lending her that day, and we both laughed about it. In that moment, I felt a bit closer to her. During the break, I went over to her and said, "That pen you gave me yesterday was really nice." She smiled and said, "Thanks." But when her friend showed up, I suddenly felt like I had said something that didn't matter, like I was invisible. I was there, but it was as if I wasn't. I quietly backed away, and no one noticed. Maybe it's me, I thought. Or maybe not. Maybe Mia's mind was elsewhere. But still, you can't stop thinking about it. Exams. That's a whole other world. What grade you get, who passes and who fails. It feels like a race. That day when I got a 78 on an exam, and the teacher said, "Most of you got this question right." Everyone looked around to see who struggled. Inside, I thought, I wish I could be invisible, because no one knew that I had been up all night studying, that my eyes were burning from staring at the same problem over and over again. The result wasn't bad, but I felt small next to everyone else. One day, a few girls walked past me in the hallway and started laughing. I knew they weren't laughing at me, but the voice in my head said, "It's definitely about you." And that voice, sometimes it really tires me out. But there are good moments too. One day I passed by the music room and heard piano music coming from inside. Someone was playing so beautifully. I stopped and listened. Their fingers seemed to dance on the keys. A voice inside me said, "I wish I could do that too." Another voice said, "You can learn." Both of them were me, but I couldn't decide which one to listen to. One rainy day, I was leaving school slowly. Everyone else was rushing, but I walked. The raindrops on my face felt good, because in that moment, no one was saying anything. It was just the rain and the silence. Maybe being alone isn't that bad, I thought. But still, I wish there was someone who would walk at my pace someday. Sometimes when I close my eyes at night, I can still smell the school, chalk, the clean classroom, the smell of pizza coming from the cafeteria. It all mixes together. And even though I'm not in the middle, even though no one notices me, I still exist. I'm telling you all this because it's starting to feel too heavy to carry inside. Maybe talking about it will lighten the load a bit. Maybe someone will listen. Maybe it will remind me that I'm not alone. I don't know, but what I do know is this. I have no choice but to start from here.
Listening to you, I can feel how real and intense the emotions you're experiencing are. At your age, everything feels a little bigger, a little brighter, and a little heavier. These feelings are a part of you, and that's completely natural. What stood out to me the most in what you shared is how you feel like you don't belong. This is what psychologists call the sense of belonging. When a person doesn't feel like they belong, everything around them can seem foreign and overwhelming. But I want you to know that this feeling can change. Belonging is something that is built over time and with the right people. Now, let's shift to something else. The moment with Mia, where you tried to approach her but felt like she didn't notice you, is something many students can relate to. Trying to get close to someone only to feel forgotten. It can hurt, but that doesn't take away from your worth. Sometimes people get so caught up in their own thoughts that they don't notice the person next to them. It doesn't need to be labeled. It's just part of being human. The issue with exams also caught my attention. There were moments where you didn't feel good enough. This feeling is often connected to self-evaluation, where people compare themselves to others. But here's something I want you to remember. Effort is more important than the result. How many people got a question right doesn't define you. Now, let's move on to something else. You've been too hard on yourself in certain situations. For example, when you took the girl's laughter personally, there's no need for a technical term for this. It's something everyone experiences at some point. Sometimes our minds create meanings out of thin air. It's not because you're feeling bad, it's just how the human mind works. What's beautiful is this, you're aware of it. That means you're not as lost as you might think. The moment you walked in the rain showed me something important. You're a child who can create space for yourself. Even when you feel overwhelmed by the crowd, you manage to find a corner to breathe. That's a very powerful strength. Now I'm going to give you some clear suggestions. Whether you follow them or not is up to you, but I know each one of them will help you feel a little more at ease. 1. Take small steps. Saying hello to someone one day is already a step. Great connections begin with small moments. 2. Don't be hard on yourself. No emotion you feel is wrong. It just needs to be understood. 3. Try exploring your talents. It could be drawing, music, writing. When you create space for yourself, others will start to see you more clearly. 4. Make your quiet moments not your enemy, but your friend, because that's where you hear your own voice more clearly. Lastly, remember this. You are already valuable for who you are, not because you're part of a group, but because you're a whole person by yourself. One day, someone will come along who walks at your pace, but until then, you need to learn to love your own rhythm. And don't forget, even in your current state, you're enough.